Hello everyone and welcome back to another screencast. This one's on constructions, it's on triangles, it's the SSS version, which is the last one of this series. Make sure that this is the last one you do of the series. The other two, you can watch either of those in any order, but this one you need to leave till the end. Okay, but without further ado, let's crack on. Hopefully it's not a very long one. And we're going to go part PowerPoint, screencast, part me, with a piece of paper, and you're going to see my hands for the first time on the screencast. So what are constructions in maths? We've gone over this before, but in geometry means to draw shapes, angles or lines accurately. And we've talked about this a lot, and this is where we need to be really accurate today, because it's the first time we're going to use our compass when we do things. So we are going to have our protractor, our ruler, and our compass available to us. We're not actually going to use our protractor today. We're going to use our ruler and our compass, and we've got to make sure that the pencil on our compass is really sharp, nice and sharp, because if it's not, we won't be accurate, and it's all about being accurate. So let's look at what SSS means. It means side, side, side. Yeah, it means we've got three sides, we don't have any angles, we're not given that information, so we're going to need to use our compass to do this. We're not going to use our protractor. You might use your protractor to connect up lines, but other than that, you aren't. And you're definitely going to need your ruler, and you're going to check the distance between the pencil and the sharp point using your ruler, and we're going to go over that in a second. So we're actually going to go over now to my other camera, and we're going to go over how to do these with your the tools you've got. We're going to recreate these shapes, so I'll catch you back here for the quiz. Okay, so for this question, just like what we've done before, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use our ruler, and we're going to measure the base line for a start. So let's do that now. Let's place it down, just to make sure we've got a nice area to do this in. Now I'm going to use quite a thick pen today, but that's just because I want to make sure that what you're seeing is nice and clear. So it's really important to have that accuracy. I'm going to measure out that first 7 centimeters there, try and be as accurate as possible. So now that is my 7 centimeter base, and I can put that in there. Now for the next ones, we're not going to use a protractor because I do not know the degrees. What we are going to use today is the compass. Now, just something to be careful of, we can see here that we've got our centimetres along the side on this compass. But this is just a rough guide. So I want to do 5 centimetres. I'm going to do this side here first. So I'm going to put it to 5 centimetres on the gauge, but then I'm also going to check it on my ruler. And the way we do that is to put one point on there, and we can see that we're slightly off. So all I would do is extend that a little bit further, make it a little bit further out, and you can see there that that's how I'm measuring it. Okay, so now I've got a very clear 5 centimeters. And remember, I have to be accurate on it. So I place the point at the end of it, and I've got to be really careful I don't change that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sweeping semicircular shape coming down through. And you can see there very clearly I've got that shape. Now for the 6.5, again, I'm going to get my ruler out and measure 6.5 on my compass. So I'm going to go 6.5 there. You've got to be really, really careful. Take your time here to make sure that you don't move anything. Get it roughly where you think it is, 6.5. Make that slight adjustment, and there we go, we've got 6.5. And this is going to be for this side here, so I'm going to place it on there like that. And again, I'm going to make a sweeping line, and where those two lines meet is the point where I'm going to make the connections. Okay, so very simply, I'll do this one here first. I line up that point, so I put a little mark there. Okay, so I'm going to line up that point there with this line. And then I'm going to line up this point here with this line. And then I'm done. And I can label that up now. That's 5 centimeters. And that's 6.5 centimeters. And that's really how easy it is. The key is when we use our compass, we take our time and we be as accurate as we possibly can. That is absolutely key. Okay, so for the next question, make sure you give it a go yourself. Make sure you copy this out and try and do it with me. But very, very important that we use this very accurately. Okay, make sure that when you're doing it, that we don't, once you've set it up, be really careful not to adjust it as we go. Okay, right. So let's do the next question. Okay, so let's do the next question now. Hopefully you've given this a go yourself. We're going to start off with doing that baseline there. So a nice big 10 centimeter baseline. So you can see hopefully how accurate I'm going to be here. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to measure out to that 10, go back, make sure I finish at 0. Okay, and I can either wait to the end and label them up, which I'm going to do this time. The next one is I'm going to do this 8 centimeters here. I could do the 11 first, it doesn't actually matter, but I'm going to do the 8 first. So we're going to get this out. So I'm going to measure it up roughly, and then I'm just going to take my time to get this right. I always find if I get it slightly over, it's easy to push it back with the hand. Then there we go, we're at just over 8. So you can just see how long I'm taking to make sure I get it as accurate as I possibly can. And it is taking a little bit of time. All compasses are a little bit different as well. Some take slightly more time than others. It's well worth getting a half decent one here. Okay, so this is my 8. So I'm actually getting somewhere near the drawing. It's better to make bigger sort of movements than you think as well. Okay, so there goes my 8. Now let's measure up my 11. Quite a big one, so I'm measuring it up. And there we go. Okay, so we've got our 2 measurements now. Now it's just about putting in the 2 final lines. So from the point to down there. And one more. And then do not forget to label it up. And there we go. Now, on all of these questions, they generally say, make sure you leave your construction lines. So in the past, I've rubbed everything out, but make sure you leave them there. Hopefully that's going to be really helpful. Hopefully when you move to the quiz, you're going to do really, really well. I'm sure you will. So give that a go. And make sure if you have struggled with these couple of questions, then go back and do them again. But all the best on the quiz. Okay, so now it's time for the quiz. So the quiz is, please redraw the following shape to scale and work out the value of x. So it's really important that you do this shape to scale and you tell me what this x value is, because that will tell me whether or not you know what you're doing. So pause the video, do that now, come back and see if you've got it right. Okay, so here we go. These are our answers now, and that was 85 degrees. Now, normally when people are marking this, they'll have a little sheet, an overlay that they put over top, and as long as you've got some tolerance there, you're okay. If you're within, let's say, 4 degrees either side of this, so 81 through to around about 89, then you're going to be fine. That's really, really well done. Hopefully you've done really well. I'm sure you have. I say that every time. Make sure you do some notes, write a little revision card on this, and until next time, it's been an absolute pleasure.